going to have a real conversation today here, and I really hope you stick with me on this because I'm a fat white guy talking about the South, all right? And you're going to agree with me and you're going to disagree with me. I'm a middle-aged fat white guy talking about race, all right? But hear me out on this, okay? Don't jump to conclusions. Either way, don't jump to conclusions. Because I tell you, we all got our cross to bear when it comes to race. We all do. All right? And I'm speaking to you like I always do. Reality, right? And like I said, I don't know what it's like to be black. All right? But I know what it's like to go through what a lot of our African American brothers go through. The criminal profiling, the white people trying to judge who you are, based off of your pocketbook and, being held captive over things that you didn't really do and things that were a middle class white man may not be held so accountable for. They throw the book at you. And I get it. I've been there. And that's the reality of this, y'all, is we're all being held captive even today by the rich white people and a few rich African American men in positions of power. You see, this is the way I look at it. As a fat white guy, middle-aged in the South, I come from Texas, okay? And truthfully, we really ain't proud about it. If you really want to know the truth about it, we ain't proud that we had to be part of the Confederacy. Reality is we really didn't want any part of it. But the rich white boys who felt of the day, who felt like we owed Tennessee something, brought us into it. And we had a few slave owners here. We did. No doubt about it. Rich-ass white people. That's who did it. And we got our own reckoning to blame for that, right? And we still look, I'm going to be honest with you. In Texas, we have a long way to go. And in the South, we have a long way to go. Because we still can't give up on that mindset of we got to serve somebody, and that somebody's going to be the rich, fat, white guys sitting up in the offices, sitting up in that hen house. All right? And the reality of this is we got to overcome that, y'all. I mean, we got to overcome that. We got to realize that these people, no matter what political party they're in, they don't care about you and me. They don't care about us. They don't care about the dirt pool white trash like you and me. Okay? They just look at us like we're just a bunch of dumb hillbillies. Like we're just a bunch of dumb pieces of white trash. That's what they look at us as. And you might be looking at me thinking, boy, he's a big old piece of white trash. I hear you. I hear you. But we got a long way to go, y'all. In the history of the American South, it's intertwined with a narrative of race. Initially, the entire South, that framework, the economic framework, was heavily revolved around slave labor. And Texas was part of that. And that created a racial hierarchy that persisted even after slavery was abolished. And it still persists to this day. Let me tell you something. It's hell in America to be poor. And it's even hell to be, more hell to be poor in the South. You know? Because we have this culture of honor, you know? It's not really a culture of honor. It's a culture of protecting the hierarchy, you see? You think that we still don't have clans? It's true. Go to Hyco, Texas. Go to Dieball, Texas. They still got clan meetings in these places. They just might not call them clan meetings. But it's what it is. I mean, anytime you have a clan of powerful people trying to do things to control everybody else, that's a clan. And these civic organizations that try to work in the good of the community, a lot of them are just a clan. That's a clan meeting. And people with badges and high positions of power are all members of it. And I'm not saying that what they're doing is bad things, but some of it is because their motives are bad. And they tell themselves we have good motives. You see, I don't know what it's like to be black. I don't know. As you can tell, I've never been black. But what I have been is poor. And what I have been is around poor people. And that much I know what it's like. And we all need to come together. You know, as a white male in his 40s, I acknowledge that this is a painful part of American history. It's not about disowning our heritage if you're white. It's not about disowning our heritage, but more about recognizing the injustices that were embedded within our heritage. As a person of faith, I believe that we have to seek truth. And part of that truth is acknowledging the sins of the past, and we have to have the courage to amend them. We have to have the courage to fix them. Do we have that kind of courage? You know, I think addressing the misconception that poverty in the South is a race issue alone, this is important because it's not a race issue. While racial dynamics, follow me here, while racial dynamics cannot be ignored, poverty affects all communities. This is a people issue. And the people in Washington and the people in Austin and the people on city council and the people in commissioner's court and all this other bullshit, they don't get that because ain't none of them really poor. Ain't none of them really out here living like you or me. This is called economic exploitation. And this has no racial boundaries. It thrives wherever there is vulnerability, especially in the smaller communities and especially in the South. You know, in the South, where there's both white and black communities, the poor have been pawns in a larger economic game played by people with power and wealth, regardless of their race. Regardless. All them poor people from the South that died in the Civil War, not all of them even realized that what they were dying for was a few rich men's power. And all these people out there who are voting in these elections and going to these red and blue club meetings and all this crap, they don't realize that all they're doing is selling their freedom to the people in power, selling their loyalty to the people in power. I want to tell you, in terms of our actions, we as people of faith, we're not called to just sit by and watch this. We need to be doers. We need to be people who stand up against the people with badges, the people who stand up against the people of power and these little organizations that still serve as kind of de facto clan groups. You know, these people that circle the wagon when somebody new comes into town, or these people that play these little head games with people. Well, you know what? It's time we fight back against these power pricks. That's what I think. And we got to come together. All of us. We have to actively engage in community initiatives that bridge these divides, whether these rich, powerful people want it or not. If that means cutting the police budget, that means cut it. If that means getting rid of the culture of honor and busting that up, then that's what we need to do, y'all. Because we have a unique role. We have a unique role in the healing process. Recognizing that each person deserves some dignity, not just the rich. And that's capitalism, my friend, that did that. And I'm not anti-capitalist. So we have to seek justice against these people of power. And we have to hold them accountable at every single level, whether they're elected, whether they're part of a group, whether they're part of a little organization. We have to hold these people accountable. And then we can start really addressing the race issue in America, and especially in the South and in Southern culture, because it's still alive and well. And there's still a lot of hate in the hearts of the powerful, and there always will be. And how do you defeat hate? With love. Kick them where it hurts. These are people who don't know anything about love. All they know is money, greed, get more of it. Give me more power, give me more money. Give me more money, I get more power. That's all they care about. From the bank to the little Rotarians. And I'm not saying all these people are bad. But a lot of them function this way. And a lot of them live this way. And it's time we quit being a pawn in their game. And it's time that we come together, you and me. White, black, anybody. And we quit buying into their little fake agenda that everybody's out to get us. And we stop buying into this BS that they're here to help us and they're here to make our communities better. Well, why don't they start actually doing something? Because they can't. Because if they did something, they'd have to come to terms with reality. And these people, as much as they claim to live in reality, don't. So what do I think of race issues? It's a poverty issue. It's a poor issue. That's what it is. It's a poor issue. And ain't none of them that wear suits and make laws for you and me to follow and create little initiatives that you and I should buy into to make themselves feel better, so that way they can stand at the judgment bar of God and say, look what I did. Well, what did you do? What did you do?